Tit for tat. In a small, quiet village, there lived two neighbors, John and Henry. John was a kind and generous man, always ready to help anyone in need. Henry, on the other hand, was a miserly and selfish man who never did anything without expecting something in return. One sunny morning, John noticed that his garden was overflowing with ripe, juicy apples. He decided to share the bounty with his neighbors and friends. With a smile, he filled a basket with the best apples and walked over to Henry's house. "Good morning, Henry," John greeted cheerfully. "I thought you might enjoy some fresh apples from my garden." Henry looked at the basket with narrowed eyes. "What's the catch, John? Why are you giving these to me for free?" John laughed. "There's no catch, Henry. I just have more than I need and thought I'd share." Reluctantly, Henry accepted the basket, muttering under his breath. As he bit into one of the apples, he couldn't help but savor its deliciousness. But instead of feeling grateful, he felt a pang of jealousy. "Why should John have so many apples and I have none?" he thought. Determined to get back at John, Henry devised a plan. He waited until nightfall and sneaked into John's garden. There, he picked as many apples as he could carry and brought them back to his own house. "That'll teach him," Henry chuckled to himself. The next morning, John noticed that many of his apples were missing. Instead of feeling anger, he felt sorry for whoever had to resort to stealing. He decided to let it go and continued with his day. A few days later, Henry's conscience began to bother him. Despite his ill intentions, he couldn't forget John's generosity. One evening, he decided to visit John and confess. "John, I have something to tell you," Henry began, feeling ashamed. "I was the one who took your apples. I couldn't stand the thought of you having so much while I had nothing. I'm sorry." John smiled warmly. "Henry, I knew it was you. But I chose to forgive you because I believe in kindness and second chances. Here, have some more apples. And this time, let's enjoy them together." Henry was taken aback by John's response. He realized that kindness was a far more powerful weapon than revenge. From that day on, Henry vowed to change his ways and become a better neighbor. And so the two men sat together under the shade of an apple tree, sharing laughter and stories, and savoring the sweet taste of forgiveness and friendship.